money. So there is, though the hefty money is made by the meat exporters like Alanas, and if you look the names of the meat exporters, they are much bigger than rice exporters or rice traders, I would say, because when we say Basmati rice, no compromise, we are discussing more on the domestic also. When you call up the international standards, let me clear to you whether it is America or Europe or the Middle East, they have more stringent norms than what India has. I don't know what India has. I think everybody can hear me.
Yes.
Yes, sir. More stringent norms. In spite of those stringent norms, still there are complaints to the Ministry of Commerce on the adulteration and the quality issues of Basmati rice. And from time to time, Ministry of Commerce is taking cognizance of those complaints, and they have now come up with PIC, inspection of PIC. There are many other things which they have got it. Now I come to data. Let me tell you, we have paid up till now more than 400 crore rupees to APIDA, 500 crore rupees to APIDA. Because it's under Ministry of Commerce, because it's our notional body. Nobody has guts to talk to the chairman of APIDA that you are collecting the fund, where is the data? In 400 crore in last 20 years, being a government organization, they have zero. And I give you an example. Let me tell you, I will like to speak against APIDA today. We gave a proposal to APIDA that we don't have any data how much rice is being produced, how many farmers are involved, which quality of rice is produced, which is the prime importance for any trade. Today, if you talk of cotton, today you talk of oil, they have lovely data. Except Basmati rice, which is such a niche product to be exported out of India, we don't have data. So we proposed a proposal to the government that you give us 1 crore of rupees. We will go to, let us say, 20 or 30, 20 districts of, 5 districts of Haryana. And we'll go to each farmer and create a data and put it on a telephone. His name, his thing, how many acres, how many family members and everything. And we will give him our numbers also. So we will start in 1 crore rupees. We will start with 20 or 30 villages or 40 villages. And we will get the data. This is how from 20 to 40, 40 to 100, 100 to 100. And it is not a big area which we have to cover the whole India. It will be only GI area of Haryana, Punjab and Western Uttar Pradesh, which grows 85% of the Basmati crop. You will not believe the people in APIDA, rather evaluating and rather appreciating for the procedure we went through. ये 1 crore सरकार का आएगा, कहाँ से आएगा? I said, this is not government money, this is our money which we have paid to you. You have to return back that 1 crore to me to create a data. I said, you tell me in 40 years, in 30 years, to 1995, today we are in 23, it's 28 years. In 28 years, give me one data which you have regarding Basmati rice. And let me tell you, we are doing one thing, that is mapping by satellite. Now, mapping, we all understand what is mapping, because we started. Money is paid from our pocket. That data is also not correct. Why? Because there is a system of tender. In tender, who posts the lowest gets the tender of mapping. I said, if you want the real mapping, you have to pay 60 lakhs or 50 lakhs minimum. In 20 lakhs, you cannot do the mapping. I said that mapping is wrong. And you tell me one thing, if the data is wrong, everything is wrong. It is more dangerous not to have the data, rather to have a wrong data. I am talking before our executive director. He has been in APIDA, and he will vet it. What Anil is saying is right. This year, after 25 years, this is the first year where the APIDA has agreed, let the trade decide about it. So data, I agree with him, to enforce any standard, anything, data has to be there. And let me tell you, data is not there at all. That's number one. But number two, let me tell you. When he asked about the international thing, first of all, the countries which are very stringent, nobody can dare to send hanky-panky cargo over there. You have to be mentally set up. That's number one. Number two is your brand. If you are a brand exporter, there are hardly 2-3 companies who are exporting total their cargo in their own brands. When it comes to your own brand, you can't take the risk of supplying substandard quality because you have lost the brand there. Today, I tell you, in any company of food, those who do not have brands cannot do well in the market because people, those who are not dealing in their own brands, they can take a chance for doing subsidized food commodity, any of the food commodity. So what is important is branding, number one, whether it is domestic or whether it is international. Number two, tag the rice. The most important enforcement is to tag rice. If you go 25 years back and today, there is hell of a big quantity, big volume change in the packed rice over the loose rice. But still, if you go to villages, still you go to many places, still loose rice is sold. But even villagers have come back and asked their pansari or their retailer, okay, bhai, we want also packed rice. That type of a
the mindset is changing.
The mind
Yes.
has changed.
So the mindset has changed, and I think it's I'm taking a cue from what you spoke and what Mr. Karthikeyan said. It does seem that consumer is actually the king, and they must get that absolute quality standards which have been set through rigorous scientific understanding, through processes, regulations, through processes. But when we talk of consumers, the consumer is only concerned with what rice he is getting, how to cook it, and that is where I am going to call out on the brand, one man brand, which is Chef Manjeet Gill, who has been, I think he is very rightfully known as the father of Indian culinary skills. He has been with ICC for a very long time. He has been to lots of international forums. He knows probably every recipe there is, and he takes a lot of pride in India being, what should I say, the king of different cuisines, the varied cuisines. And talking to you, Chef Gill, I'd like to ask you, what is it that makes you so excited in using Basmati rice particularly?
First of all, thank you very much to call me here. I feel very. Otherwise, and any whosoever maybe not had a thought to have a chef in this gathering. I think it's a very late realization of the nation. And the people who deal with the food, whether as a farmer or a food scientist or an agricultural scientist or the traders, be in the world market without the chefs. And I can tell you that in my own international experience, doing the purchasing and everything from all over the world, doing cooking also, no objectives can be achieved. People are dealing with the food without the chefs. But ultimately, like Namata used the phrase in the morning, that cooking of the pudding or eating of the pudding is the
Lies in the, yeah.
But I think the crop is only if you eat it. You can't eat the crop. There is no way. And in India we stop. Even the scientists, they create the crop and after that they have nothing to do with that. Whether it becomes popular with the people, whether it becomes sellable to the people, whether to get the right nutrition to the people, that how to cook, how to get the best out of that, then only chefs can do it. And chefs are very qualified and learned now in India. to understand these things and be part of the Indian economy, to deal with the food internationally also, and to make where we are. I'm surprised that the Basmati, which is a very unique and distinct product in the whole world, nobody has this kind of product. If Pakistan has, it's India only. One geographical boundaries can be there for many. That's a different thing. But still, we are struggling, and the first time the conference is happening on the Basmati. It's just surprising to me. I wonder then why it is like this. This is the way we take the food. This is the way we take the export of the food in the whole world. And the knowledge, the food, what India has from the ancient time. And it was true that knowledge of Ayurveda, of food, was true in the past, true in the medieval time, is true today, and I think it has the answer for everything in the future. But we must come to understand, discover, and then disseminate to the whole world, and being a superpower as far as food knowledge is concerned. And we have that capability. And we must think it over. And we must have a pride in our products. Like for example, I'm just saying, in the modern time, in India, even in the rules and regulation, I just tell you my own experience without naming anybody. I got the opportunity to do a catering of a very high, some industrial house of their wedding of their daughter. There was no dearth of the money that how much I asked the money per head. So to put the value to the food, it's about 10 years, 12 years back, I floated the query to many brands of rice that I want a rice which I can write in the description that this pulao or the biryani or the preparation of the rice is made, which is 5-year-old rice, crop of 19 or 200,000 or whatever of the year, but I can mention the year. And that's add the value to the crop. That will give the money to the farmer, to the trader, not to me, who's cooking. And I could not find it. We have an age-old history and we know it. The old rice is much better, but we are not selling it. As a brand, we are not selling it. We are selling as a Basmati. Basmati, nobody knows what it is. Or the labels of the brand. And neither we have a FSSAI regulation on this. This is how we can make money. We must be, I'm saying on the label, we must have on the FSSAI also the region of the rice. All the region doesn't produce the same quality of rice. If you say the Patna rice is good, I'm just giving an example, that you know better the traders decided, that it should be there as a Patna rice. And it should be double the price than the normal price, even in the export market and here. This is where we play the role how Patna rice is cooked and it has a better aroma and a better flavor and they are separate every grain and all that distinction that we will do in the front to the consumer directly. To teach the consumer directly, you must have seen that the food shows or the food articles are becoming very popular and somewhere we feel very lucky and fortunate that people trust us more on food than the dietitians and the doctors. Because we use different language of food. We use romantic language of food. We don't use the scientific language of food. Now to understand the scientific language, even a dietitian's language, I have to be MSc nutrition. Otherwise I can't understand. But when we do it, when we are empowered with the knowledge, when we do the thing, we create the market very differently. And everybody gets the benefit of that. I'm just saying, thank you very much for involving me and said a lot of things very.
No, sir, we're not done.
And I think
yet. I want to
we
ask.
should,
Yeah.
sell our food with a great pride in that. Not as run of the mill, and that is one right. And in India, at least for us, That's also what I'd like to add, that the way we are evolved and brought up in our families and in our homes, the food starts from there. We were always taught the food is very auspicious. It's not a commodity. Maybe with that thought, we are little bit left behind than the word market of food, because for them it's a commodity. For us, it's a very auspicious matter. We worship our God through the food. That's the manifestation of the God. Like nothing else you can see the God visibly, you can see the food. So maybe because of that, but the world has changed, the market has changed. I think we should be very aggressive now to talk about highlights about our food and sell it and make money and improve the economy of farmers, of everybody. So we must realize that, and we must go into the market with this and tell them about the food and about the goodness as a community. Only scientists can't do it. I just use an example. If you have that, my first book I did in 1995 called Eating Wisely and Well. A small book. It was based on the Indian thoughts and the Indian philosophy of food. And it was printed by Penguin, and they were saying we must write calories in it. I said, I will not write the calories, because that's not the right direction of the nutrition. And as we are brought up, the food should be cooked with the happiness, not with the mathematics. So I will not do it. So I asked my other colleagues in the world, internationally, that when you write the book, write calories, why? This itself better. So, but I didn't write the calories in that book. Actually, with Penguin also. And I believe that alone I cannot improve the health of the society. I went to Dr. Tran that time. He was the topmost doctor that time. I went to him. I explained him, this is the concept, this is the thought, these are my recipes, this is what I am writing. A text also on the book food. And you alone can only prescribe and give medicine, but you can't improve the health of the people. You can't do wellness. I said, the dietitian can't do it. I can't do it alone, but we see can do it. You can diagnose, somebody can advise, you empower me. I will create the food which will be appetizing, satisfy all the senses, and eat it. Nutrition is only when it is absorbed into the body, otherwise it's on paper. What is a garbage can? It's not in you. So he gave me the forward for the book. So I'm saying, as a community, the farmers, the scientists, traders, we must work together for the nation's economy and the food quality for our citizens also. Now we have had.
Yes, sir, I wanted to actually ask you something, because
Okay.
what you're saying
Now I'm
is...
saying, we are educating, there are a lot of things that we are educating the consumer. We are educating the consumer. Now, we are saying we must soak the rice. Some say 20 minutes, some say 30 minutes. But nobody is saying why to soak the rice. It is necessary, or it is must, or how long it is. Nobody is talking about the anti-nutrients in the rice or any grain. Those anti-nutrients have to be taken out from the food, from the grain. If you don't do that, the nutrients are not getting absorbed into your body. So how you say that rice or any of the rice or the basmati, I am taking on the basmati rice now, is healthier when citric acid is still there. It doesn't go out in 15-20 minutes, it goes out but not that much. So what is the harm soaking the rice for 1 hour? I am just saying that we play the role in that, and if you soak the rice for 1 hour, how you cook it then? How much water to be added and what heat to be cooked to get the final very good result with the right aroma, with the separation of rice also, red starch also, and healthier also. So what I am saying that as a community we can play a very important role and it will benefit a win-win situation for everyone, the farmer and the consumer. So that I just have some thoughts, and I'll put it now. I open the question.
Sir,
First, a big hand to him. Very good. so nice. But we are tempted to learn more from you by questions.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I want to
First,
ask
Namrata
you-
will start. Yeah, please.
I want to ask you, what is it that makes basmati rice particularly so exciting, and why is it? Why does it have, should I say, the tag of king of rices?
You see, we all know it's because of the name explained by itself, and how the name was given about 250 years, 300 years back, in 1700, by the poets like Bahadur Shah, the Bulle Shah, Bulla Wari Shah. He has written a beautiful poem on the basmati. He put that word, and I think what we were talking about the patent in America, I think his poem was quoted in that that this belongs to us. It was written, text is written, the poem is written on that 300 years back. So that is where the basmati word came from, the bas, from the aroma, the fragrance, and mati is as a suffix is put so that it put the pressure of the.
So as far as taste is
so what
concerned,
I'm saying,
what is
yeah.
the-
So taste is, so it is very aromatic. It's a long rice. It looks beautiful. Like we say that the food must be full with the five senses. So the first sense is look, and the look is great of the basmati because of the length of the rice. They are separate. They are the aroma is so beautiful, so nice. It pleases you to eat. And then the taste is very nice. And taste is like it's nutty. If you go a little more, it will be might get a smell like a fresh popcorn. Then you are roasting them and all that. It might flavor like that. So that's why it's very, very good. And I will only say that the basmati is very good for a few particular dishes.
Yeah, I was just
You
about
know,
to come to that.
it's-
Why biryani particularly with
Yeah,
basmati?
no, biryani is good. Even tahri is very good. It's not biryani is they're like siblings to each other. So where the meal is complete by itself is very good. But where my experience, and we have seen this with the seen the people, the food habits also. But if you mix basmati with traditional dishes like rajma, curry, or Bengali dish with the meat fish curry, or wherever south with the sambar and all that, the basmati doesn't go well. And I think that's also very important to tell the consumer, and even for the ethical practices, that we must educate people for that. Because the other rice is little more gooey and softer and much tender and get mixed up with the